Position yourself to receive from God with Bishop David G. Evans teaching When Men Pray.
Have there been times when you have asked someone to pray for you and the prayer has not been answered? Because instead of praying for yourself, you waited until someone else that you thought had more power would pray for you. Prayer is something that you resort to immediately and not as a last resort. You need to learn how to pray preemptively. You need how to pray ahead of time. Don't always be praying in response. Pray proactively. Pray before it happens. Lord, cover my child. Lord, bless my day.
Develop your relationship with God with this dynamic teaching on CD or DVD when you write to us. Visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480.
It's now easier than ever to stay connected with David G. Evans and the Bethany Baptist Church family. Follow the ministry and rejoice in all that God is doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, you'll be up to date on the latest happenings, and you can watch our Sunday services on Facebook Live at 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern.
Here comes the power. Hallelujah.
Words of wisdom and encouragement can be found on Twitter, and you'll get up to the minute sermon points as they happen in our weekly worship services. Follow us on Instagram and be blessed by the inspirational and special moments that are highlighted each week, and meet the people who are the heart of our ministry. And if it's video you want, subscribe to the Bethany Baptist Church channel on YouTube. See the celebrations, the special events, and the many, many people who are helping to transform lives one at a time. Stay connected with David G. Evans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and become a member of our broadcast family today.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Are you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. That's at David G. Evans 1. Won't you please like and subscribe and share? Hit that notification button so you'll never miss one moment of what we believe is the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in the whole United States of America. I look forward to talking to you today. Our call-in numbers are 866-743-8267. That's toll-free, 866-743-8267. That's 866-74-EVANS. We would love to talk to you. On Point is all about the kingdom-based point of view perspective. That's a biblical-based perspective on all issues. So we talk about politics, we talk about religion, we talk about faith, we talk about Jesus, we talk about the current events that impact your life, world and local. We look forward to having a conversation with you. Hopefully you are enlightened when you're listening to us and watching us from wherever you are. If you're a first-time participant in On Point, won't you please make sure that you give a shout-out to your church if you have one. Your pastor, if you have one, that we might recognize him or her as we have these conversations today around a multiplicity of subjects and events. Of course, joining us is our world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith. How you doing, man?
Good morning. Good morning.
What's happening?
Ready to rock and roll.
Oh, yeah, you sound kind of bright and chipper this morning.
I was up early,
Okay.
praying, got
All
the
right,
scripture,
that'll do it for you.
listened to a little bit of my class.
That'll do it for you.
Yeah.
That'll do it for you.
So
That'll do it for you.
I'm here.
A lot of stuff going on this week. I'm trying to figure out, and perhaps our audience can help us. Perhaps they will help us. I know our guys from Florida ladies and gentlemen from Florida are going to call us. I'm trying to see what is the end game for the governor attacking the largest employer in the state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And the multiple revenue impacts that place has.
Yep.
Not just on its own properties, but on other hotels and restaurants and bars and other amusement places and kids places and shopping and clothing and I mean cruise lines, bus line, you name it.
Everything. Yep.
What is the end game for that?
Right. To prove a political point. And then I was talking to a conservative, and then to possibly make the people that live in the state have to pay for this debt, pay for all this.
They're going to have to pay for it.
They're going to pay for it. And they're like, well, I don't see it's going to be, we don't know if it's going to be extreme. $1 billion is a lot of money. And remember,
for working people.
For working people.
Yeah.
And remember, conservatives, they don't like tax hikes.
No.
Whether it's 5%, 2%.
They're going to have to tax hike. They're going to have to hike them up. They say that people's property taxes in that zone are going up 25%.
Yes.
That's a lot for a working family.
A lot. Oh, absolute lot. And
that's thousands.
Yeah. To prove a point out of spite.
Well, I don't understand why Disney does not have the right to make a statement, and they know they have people that are LGBTQ.
Yes.
I don't know the rest of it, but they know they have them, so they're standing behind their employees.
Yes.
Now, I may not agree biblically with what the lifestyles are, but absolutely support the right for them to be who they are.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And Disney's been funding Republican Party for a while, from what I heard.
Well, I'm sure they have.
So I'm sure they gave the DeSantis
plenty.
And I guess because his feelings were hurt,
he's attacking at least 36,000 constituents.
Yes.
And I understand Utah was the first state up to the line saying, "Come live with us," but there's going to be more.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And if they do move, they'll stay in a warm climate.
They got to go to the Midwest.
Somewhere.
They got to go west. Got to go Utah. One of those places, Arizona.
And there are people, not a lot, but there are some people that are changing their trips from the Florida Disney. They're now going to California Disney.
Okay.
Because they don't want to support.
Well, no. Okay, but that's
in a sense of like what DeSantis is doing, not because of Disney.
Yeah. So I get it. I think it's a mistake.
Yes, I think so too.
What would have been wrong with him sitting down and saying, "Can we work this out?"
Yeah. Well, as somebody said in the comments, and I think it's true too, it's political theater.
Okay.
He's trying to make some noise. He's trying to be as Trump
But
as possible.
Disney?
I know. But
You know how
Trump,
much money they have?
Yeah. But Trump went after all the people, so DeSantis is trying to gain that crowd of we're standing up for what's right. And
But poor people like Disney.
yeah.
Poor white people like Disney.
Yeah.
The one or two times I've been there in my life, one time, it was decidedly a white crowd. It's not, I mean, it's an expensive trip,
Very
and
much.
people have to save up to go there.
Yeah, very much.
I took 4 teenage girls, man. It was, when I tell you every meal was $100 and some bucks, I'm not exaggerating.
Yes. The tickets now, like $100 a day.
Man, what you talking about? I had the group thing, or whatever they call that thing.
Yeah.
And you go and you just can get in any park you want.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was hitting so many parks a day, man. I wore them girls out, man.
You'll get your money's worth.
Look, I had them scheduled, man. We'll do 4 hours here, 4 hours here. We're gonna go to break, then we go.
Yep.
Man, they were eating like men.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man.
I know. I'm sure.
Nothing to go to dinner and have a $250 bill.
Yes.
Breakfast was costing $125.
Yep. Yeah. It's insane. And then for especially the people that live in the area,
Man,
not even just the rest of the state,
yes,
they're going to be hit the hardest compared to everybody in the rest of the state.
of course.
Taxes going to be higher there. Most of the people are employed, live in that area.
The Disney contribution to their revenue is going to be significant.
Yes.
Because not everybody eats on the Disney properties.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The restaurants around the area
Mm-hmm.
are making money too.
Yeah.
So to me, it was just a dumb move.
It was a dumb move. Because I think that hotel when we used to go to Orlando, because SeaWorld was right around the corner from
Right, they're backed up to the
the DoubleTree that we used to go
Yeah,
stay at.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Even all the way down there. Because SeaWorld is a big place.
When
And-
that organization that I was a part of bought the DoubleTree, the back of the DoubleTree sits at the back of SeaWorld.
Yes.
And our organization put $33 million in renovations in that place just to bring it up.
Yeah.
And then the Disney traffic, it wasn't a Disney hotel, but it was treated like one by the
Yes.
population.
Yes. Because you're not paying the full Disney hotel price, and you're
yeah.
close enough to
Yeah.
do what you got to do.
Doc, it was amazing.
Yeah. It's just,
So
but you saw Disney pulled out that $1 billion card
of course.
and said, "Remember our agreement? It's go if you want us to get out of here, it's $1 billion that you have to pay us." And I'm like, that's got to come from somewhere.
It's gonna come from people.
People, because Florida don't have no mint, and
They're not printing money.
Mm-mm.
No. So but once again, I'm not sure that DeSantis has ever really cared about the people of Florida.
Nah.
And that I say that based upon the fact that he was willing to sacrifice so many of their lives
Yes.
just to, I think, go against the grain. I don't think there was a concern about the folk. I think he loves being anti whatever is pro right now.
Yeah. It's to prove a point
Yeah.
to a crowd.
He was willing to sacrifice people's lives.
Yes.
And a lot of people died in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But what blows my mind, and you've taught me this over the years, certain people vote against their own interests.
They do. They do all the time. I was talking to somebody about it this week. It's funny watching poor people get upset for what's going on with the money of rich people. It's like when
It's
Biden,
not affecting them.
Thank you. It's like when Biden said he's going to tax people over $250,000.
What does that got to do with people making $30,000?
You make $30,000 a year. That's not affecting you. But who determines what, as you say?
Absolutely. And most people don't realize the burden of taxation normally falls upon low and middle income people.
Yes.
That's why the rich folk are crying so loudly, because they're not used to having to pay their fair share.
Yes.
That's not socialism. That's just
Yeah.
why do the lowest paying people, lowest earning people have to bear the tax burden for the highest? It doesn't make any sense
Absolutely.
anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Grown folk usually, I'll say usually, will not let another working person live in their house without paying some kind of room and board.
Yes.
You got to participate.
Yes.
So why do rich folk get to live in America and not have to pay a fair share of taxes?
Yes.
And if you're going to do that, then make some loopholes for the poor people.
There you go. Thank you.
And don't make it. You got to have 8 kids in order to order to get a break.
They didn't know loophole.
No, that's not a loophole.
Yeah, them 8 kids go
Come
cost
on,
more
man.
than tax
Come on,
tax
man.
credit.
Come on, man.
But that's just like Mitt Romney, who makes a considerable amount of money.
Boku, as we used to say.
Huge money.
Boku.
Complaining about canceling debt, student loan debt, when your tax rate is like what was it, like 10 to 15%, if that?
It doesn't affect him. I don't even think Mitt has any kids in school.
And if he did, he could probably buy a school if he wanted to. I mean,
I think the tax break was this. I think the lady that was running the education, the Amway lady, and the owners of those agencies that lend money did not want to have to write all that debt off.
Yeah.
Because if they say you don't have to pay it, then it falls back on the organization. And the organization, of course, is going to write it off and get a tax break. But they're not saying any of that out front.
No, not at all. Not at all.
A loss is written off in a business.
Yes. And in a way, you want to stimulate the economy.
Yes.
Put more money in people's pockets.
Yes.
But the United States government is upheld by student loan debt.
Isn't it amazing though? Isn't it amazing though how the country will give $1 billion to wealthy people, and they can do whatever they want to do with it, and it's okay.
Yes.
But if they give money to poor people, and they do something recreational with it, it's the biggest crime of the century.
It's socialism.
A rich person can go out and buy a yacht, a helicopter, a plane, with what the government gives them. Poor person goes out and buys a car. You should have done something else with the money.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. The Great Recession in 2008.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm just imagine if they would have said, okay, all y'all that are behind on your houses, instead of us giving the banks the money, we'll pay your house. We'll pay the banks to pay your house off.
That's right.
So the bank gets their money.
That's right. You get
People
your
can
house.
keep the house.
Yep.
You have no mortgage payment anymore.
That's too close to human.
Yeah, that's true.
And anything close to human concern or compassion, it's called socialism.
Yeah, that's true.
So the only thing that is acceptable is a cutthroat style of doing things.
Yeah.
We have to produce casualties or we're not being a democracy.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
And helping people is not socialism.
Right.
And most people that think it's socialism don't think it is when they need the help.
Exactly. Then it's what I'm due.
Oh.
Am I right? Here's my thing.
It's good government.
Good government, yes.
Yeah.
Because this false belief that if we give the rich people more money, they'll create more jobs.
It's
and
not
create
true.
More business.
It's not true.
Like, come on.
When a certain department store closed 600 stores that was supposed to feed into the employees.
Yes.
Then they laid off
Thank you.
6,000 people.
Yes. Exactly.
Come on, man. Let's go to Tom in Florida. 866-743-8267. 826-7866-743-8267-866-74 Evans. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device. Come on, like us, subscribe, share. Also, hit that notification button. Also, why don't you tag a few people and invite them to the conversation this morning? We're going to have a great time. Let's go to Tom from Florida. We have our man on the street in Florida. Good morning, Tom. How are you?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor?
Hey, man.
What's going on down there, man? You guys got.
I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about our governor in a minute. But you said you're talking about Mitt Romney. Something real quick I want to bring up. When he was running a couple years back, he was so out of touch. Somebody asked him how much he could make the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I did a few speeches. I only made about $400,000. That's all. In other words, he made 3 speeches and made $400,000. I thought, that was to him insignificant amount of money.
And he was talking about his work income. He wasn't talking about his estate income.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
But
we
to him,
know
that was
Mitt is
insignificant.
Boku rich.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And top 10 companies in this major corporations in this country do not pay, income tax.
Of course not.
So, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They got rules.
Now-
They got rules, and they keep those rules in place so they don't have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So who bears the burden? The people that they hire bear the burden.
Yep.
Now,
Because it was.
here in
Oh, sorry.
Florida, you want me to hit Florida?
Good.
Yeah, come on, man. You're a man on the street in Florida.
Before we get to Disney, there's a new law coming into effect that Mr. DeSantis is going to run with. It's called a constitutional state, where no longer are you going to need a license to carry a gun.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's trying to put that in place.
bill. So we're going to be the Wild Wild West.
Like Texas.
You don't have to have a license to carry a
Texas
gun
are
in
working
Texas?
towards that too. No license to have a gun.
Why?
It's a Second Amendment right. You can own a gun, and it's your right to protect yourself.
Wait a minute. So you have to have a license to kill someone with a car, but you don't have to have a license to kill somebody with a gun?
No.
Now, Tom.
That's crazy.
Tom. I need to ask you from a Florida mindset. Why does that make sense to you all down there?
Because we've been took, we've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Yeah.
That is that's amazingly silly to me. So then after they do that, they'll complain about the criminals having more guns?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But to them, a good guy is the answer to a bad guy with a gun.
Until some of the good guys get killed.
Well, you would
Quote
think
unquote
that,
good guys.
Yeah.
But Sandy Hook changed my total perspective on certain sections of our population being concerned about children.
Mm-hmm.
When that did not move Congress, and that did not move this country, I realized just how much heart we'd lost.
Yeah. When one of their own got shot, they were like, well,
that was at the softball game. You know, there was outrage for about 3 hours.
Yeah. It was,
and then, the gun lobby was like, we're going to do it.
yeah. There was a shooting at a school baseball game.
I saw that.
Did you see the video?
Yes.
And of course, they're not going to do anything about it.
Who was doing the shooting?
They're trying to find out who it was, but
And
they're not going to do anything.
And what was really weird was the differing reactions. That's what I watched.
Yeah.
I watched the coach. First off, it took a couple seconds for recognition.
Yeah.
Because if you're not used to hearing gunfire, you're not sure what it is.
I think it's fireworks or
Is that fireworks? Is that a car backfiring? You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then that reality sinks in, and your reaction time is slow unless you're used to being shot at, or you're living in an area where shooting is normal.
Mm-hmm.
So you see some of them getting down on the ground. The coach gets down first, says everybody get down.
Yeah.
Then you see some of the kids just wandering around like
what's going on?
Like what's going on? And then finally, some kind of reaction. But it was eerie to me.
It was, yeah. It was sad to see,
Yeah, but spooky.
Yeah.
It was just, but what I got out of it, besides what I just described, was the lawlessness that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I came up in a generation that was perfect. It was far from it.
Yeah.
But there were certain places we didn't have shootouts.
Right.
We didn't have them around churches. We didn't have them around schools. We didn't have them where kids were playing.
Yeah, it was a code.
Yeah, it was loose, but
Yeah.
you didn't do that.
Yeah.
These guys are open up in the middle of a Sunday school trip.
Yeah. Somebody in the comments said Indiana, you no longer have to carry a permit either, and no license is necessary for a gun. Yeah.
So you do have to have a permit, but you don't have to have a license? Isn't that
What
about
she's
the same
saying
thing?
here in Indiana, I no longer have to carry my permit, no license necessary in Indiana. I'm gonna look it up.
But it does imply by what she's saying you have to have a permit.
Gun laws. I'm gonna look it up.
And I don't know what the difference is. What's the difference between a permit and a license?
Well, here in Florida, you had to. I got mine, and you had to get fingerprinted. They had to get your ID and run a background check.
Okay.
And they also want you to get qualified. At least go to a range.
Well, I think that makes sense. I think you should go somewhere and make sure you can hit what you're shooting at, not this nonsense you see in the movies where you need 35 bullets to hit one person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the premise behind, for the most part. He's eliminating that, which is.
That's just silly, Tom.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, anybody can walk around town, with a gun,
And I mean, you don't know the mental state of these people. You don't know their attitudes. They're going to come up with all kind of reasons why they feel justified in using the gun. So you're going to have a lot of people walking around tense. And some will shoot first and ask questions later. Because now you have to assume on your streets that everybody's armed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are you gonna have people shootouts at traffic stops?
I guarantee it will happen.
You cut in front of me, and that was my parking space. So you're gonna have a shootout?
People do that foolishness now.
Yeah.
You can't make it easier for people to do wrong. I firmly believe that.
Yeah.
Human beings don't do well in those environments.
Yeah, he did something else too this week. Even though he declared that this was the most secure election we had in years, he is now put through his legislature that sucks up to him a new task force that's a new police force that's going to oversee the elections.
What's wrong with him? Wait a minute. I'm back to my other question. What's wrong? And I hate to lump you in this, but you live in the state. What's wrong with you guys?
Bishop, you know what? Today I'm going to go and enjoy the Thunderbirds at the air show and forget about who's running the state. But everything he's doing is just way out of control.
I'm envious of you. I'm envious of you today. You're going to watch the Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
This is normally the one Saturday in the year
I was about to say, yeah.
where I let nothing get in the way, Tom. I mean nothing. If you have an emergency between 7 a.m. on Saturday morning, on this Saturday, and 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, you better not call me because I'm not coming. I'm not answering. Penn Relays weekend is here, and I'm not going. And here's the reason: if I'm not meeting with people that I know in my church every Sunday indoors, I am certainly not sitting in a stadium full of people, 30, 40,000 strong, screaming for 9 hours, packed hallways, and those ungodly packed bathrooms. I'm not going in there. If I don't see some of it on TV, I will miss it again. And I still have the tickets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you see that 70-year-old run the 100?
Yeah, man, I saw him.
Yo, he was fast, man.
He was kicking.
13 seconds.
He was kicking, man.
At 70?
That's right.
I can't do that at 40.
He was moving.
Jeez.
But I'm feeling in my heart. My buddy that goes with me, man, we talked the other day. He said, I hope you're not going to be hurt. I said, I'm not going to be hurt at all because I'm not going.
Right, yeah.
I have too many people depending on me to go sit out among 40,000 people I don't know. They're going to be screaming the entire time, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
With no mask, no kind of distancing. And those hallways and those bathrooms are just packed the entire time. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I haven't been there in years, but I love the Penn Relay.
I hadn't missed a year since 1969 until the pandemic hit.
Wow.
I've had the same seats for the last 16 years on the north side of the stadium, and for the years before that, I had on the southern side of the stadium. Same box seats. But I'm not going. I hope they show it on TV this afternoon. Some of it anyway. Yeah. Sidney McLaughlin's run. I mean, they're making it so tempting.
I'm sure some YouTube.
The Olympians, but some of them YouTube things are just horrible, man.
Yeah, the way they
guys up in the cloud seats filming with his phone, man. I get aggravated, man. Anyway, Tom, I'm praying for you guys in Florida, man.
Take care.
Tom, our man on the street in Florida, one of our men on the street, I'm sure Danny's calling soon. Talk to you soon, man. Bye-bye. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call and talk show in America. At David G. Evans 1. Like us, subscribe, share. Chandler keeps beating this into my head. You got to say it, Dad. You got to say it. Hit that notification button. And Chandler says we need some merchandise. He said, Dad, you don't have any merch.
Merch, yeah.
Yeah, he calls it merch. You got to have some merch. I said, Chan, what's merch? I didn't know what he was talking about. He said, you got to get some merch, Dad. I said, okay, I'll talk to Pastor Nick about it. Okay, so.
Well, Maya has those I'm Possible things.
Yes, I like
it.
Yeah. Well, I saw the jacket and stuff.
Okay.
I didn't see the I'm Possible. But my friend Mark, he called and he said, look, I'm not trying to pump you up or anything. He said, but this thing is spreading. Yeah. You guys need some merchandise. Yeah. I said, okay.
Okay. I mean, you could do it through your Amazon. Well, we'll talk about it.
So y'all give us a call, 866-743-8267. We're going to Robin in Delaware, and I think Bunny is on the phone from Florida. She's the woman on the street in Florida. So we got two guys on the street. Man, we have a balanced, equal opportunity reporting staff across the nation.
Yeah, let's just do what we got to do.
Yeah, we got Robin in Delaware. Let's go to Robin and see what brief remarks Robin has this morning. Hey, Robin, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop, and good morning, Pastor Nick and everyone. How are y'all doing this fine, blessed morning?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I'm like Pastor Nick. I get up, talk to God. I put on some gospel music. The song by Kirk Franklin, "Don't Cry." He has risen. Oh my God!
I gotta call Kurt since you giving him free marketing. I gotta call him.
But I want to first ask you, Bishop and Pastor Nick, please pray for the Uber and Lyft drivers. Uber lady, she had 4 kids, and the passenger killed her.
Huh?
Yeah, in Philly. It happened in February, but I just heard about it and I saw the video, and that
What
was
video?
a heartbreaking video to watch when he had the gun to her neck, turned off her video, and killed her. He dumped her body. 2 days later, they found her. Another Uber driver got shot Thursday night. So I don't work
in Philly
at night. I don't even work at night no more in Delaware. So just pray for us. I know I'm covered by y'all, but this is
Be
really,
wise.
It's got to be wise.
Well, that Philadelphia shootings, I understand there's 1.5 homicides a day in Philly. Is it?
Yeah, it's a lot. I think it's of last.
Or was it 3?
Let me see. I know last year it was high. Let me see.
And what are the gun laws in New Jersey, Pastor Nick?
I still think Philly, we don't have the right to carry like other people, other states do. We can carry.
In New Jersey?
I think you have to. Let me see.
Come on, we need to find out.
Because I know people who have them, but I don't think you
I
can
need to
carry
find
them
out.
outside the house.
We need to find out. we need to know.
We got to protect ourselves. But what was sad, when she said, you don't have to do this, I have 4 kids. He's like, I got kids too, and still killed her.
Did he?
Yes.
This is on video?
Yes. He didn't act. He cut the camera off in the car because we can have a video camera recording that the passengers know that you are being recorded. But he reached over and turned it off. But they found he dumped her body. But when he said that, I was like, that's beyond hate.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And that was in Philadelphia, Robin. Robin.
Yes.
That was in Philadelphia.
Yes, I don't know what part. It
Doesn't matter.
happened February 21st.
Doesn't matter. It still was in Philly.
Yeah. And but what do you think about the Twitter? What's his name? Elon
Musk.
Yes.
Does anybody know why he's really buying it? Has he said?
I thought he brought it.
He's in the process of buying it.
He has to come up with the rest of the money too.
Well,
He's got it's $44 billion. I think he has to come up with an extra $21 billion. I think.
Somebody's gonna lend him the
Finalize
money.
the deal.
They're gonna lend him money.
Sure. Somebody.
He's one of the richest men in the world.
Yeah. Here's my thing.
What's he worth?
Let me see. Elon Musk.
102 million, 104 million. What is it? 104 billion. I mean.
264 billion.
264 billion.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't keep these guys straight.
Yeah.
You realize these numbers have swelled
Yes, since the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wow. Well, this is my last comment. The draft is excellent. I like the picks. And I read where the owner of the Raiders said they would give Kaepernick a chance, and I hope it does work out for him. I really do. But
Now, why do you think
that
that union is doing that? And I'm being facetious, but I'm also being honest. Why do you think the owners union is doing that? Because they don't act independently unless they want to be iced by the rest of the owners, and they don't want to be iced by the rest of the owners because all their revenue is tied in together.
Okay.
They share stuff. So why do you think this one guy was going to say that?
Well,
and do you think it's not a managed response?
Well, there's a certain level to it. One NFL executive said that works with the owners. Even though they work together, they're also very highly competitive against each other.
Of course they are.
So they'll, at times, break ranks to do what's in the best interest of their group.
Okay.
To me, I'll believe it when I see it.
Absolutely.
Right, me too, Pastor.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Because it's been a shuffle card game the entire time, hasn't it?
When I see it.
You have no confidence in them, Pastor Nick?
Heck no. Not in this area. Not in this area.
Okay, what area do you have confidence in them in?
In
the
other
fact that
areas,
they're going to make money for
themselves?
themselves?
The fact they're going to make money for themselves.
Okay,
They're going to
okay.
do what's best for their organization.
Okay.
But
at the expense of people at times.
Of course.
Okay.
But hiring Kaepernick is going to be now. If one place can get away with it, it is the Raiders. The reason why is because the Raiders are known. Right back in the 70s.
Al Davis.
They've been known to take the worst of the worst.
Renegades.
Yes. And they're in Vegas, so they're
Yes.
not in a
Yes.
middle
They're not
part
in
of
a-
America.
Yeah, they're not in a very conservative part of the world.
Vegas is like whatever, bring them in.
Yeah,
They don't care.
yeah.
So
They just want to win.
yes. So if it was a team, I would take them because their people wouldn't protest.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
Well, Bishop and Pastor Nick, y'all have a blessed rest of your day, and y'all be safe as well, and just keep me covered and prayed. I'm going out to work in a little bit.
You work in the daytime, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
And
I need a day off, though, Bishop.
Well, you need
I'm
a day.
so tired.
You need a day off on a day you don't need any money. So, what you
Bye,
do?
Bishop.
What you do is if you get a feeling that a call is not for you, don't take it.
Oh, yeah, we have a panic button. That's what I meant to say. She must have forgot or was...
No. That panic button is not going to get them there in time most of the time.
Yeah,
if you
with
don't
the
feel like
with that
if you
911
don't
yelling.
feel like a call, don't feel like one of the requests for transportation. If it doesn't feel right, follow the Lord. Don't take it.
Right, okay. And I do have Tamara follow me. We can have somebody follow me so she
Okay.
knows where I am every
Okay.
ride.
Okay.
So that's a good thing.
All right.
All right, well, y'all have a blessed one. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Stay strong.
See you.
All right, I will.
Bye-bye. I like the fact that they put these precautions in, Pastor Nick. But it's like a good maintenance plan on a used car. The maintenance plan does not stop the car from breaking down. So to have confidence because you have a plan that'll get it fixed does not prevent you from getting stranded.
Right. Yes.
So,
Stuff's still gonna happen.
But,
Stuff gets happen.
but people act like, okay, I got a great maintenance plan. Like that maintenance plan is going to sometimes supernaturally enable the car to not break.
Right.
You know, it's silly.
It is.
All right, let's talk to Bunny in Florida. Hey, Bunny, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Whereas, one slight correction, whereas Tom is the man on the street right now, I'm your woman in the bed.
You're going to recover. You're going to recover.
Yeah, well, I'm not feeling well. Just sleepy. That's all.
Okay.
And but I did want to comment on the DeSantis situation. You know, I mentioned to you that I had while I was taking care, not necessarily knowing why. Yeah, for me, I know it is, especially when I chose for myself and my mom.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of politics around not being able to get to it. And so I have personal issues.
Well, most people don't realize that because of that, and it was very public that he was making sure that his wealthy friends and supporters got vaccinated.
That's right.
Very quickly, and that others who were not in that group didn't get it. And, you know, unfortunately, like you told us before, Bunny, you and Mom, you know, got sick at the same time, and Mom didn't make it.
Right.
You know, but you all were. I know you were being proactive, and I know you guys were trying to get it as early as possible. But because of the delay, you know, Mom got exposed, and she didn't make it.
Right. That's right. And when you asked Brother Tom about, you know, trying to figure out the governor and, you know, what's going on, I've had to stop trying to figure out stupid because it's just
There's no logical explanation to stupid. Is that what you're saying?
Well, some kinds of stupid there is, but not this kind. And so it's a type of thing where
this is a unique stupid. Is that what you're saying, buddy?
it's an evil stupid.
I think it's the enemy, pure and simple.
Yeah, it's an evil stupid.
We do talk about things from a kingdom point of view. If you connect the dots and you look at the pattern, there's nothing that you can say but evil personified.
That's right.
And we don't make that conclusion. We don't make that conclusion lightly. We make it a succession of events which shows very little concern for the very people that you govern. That is not godly. That has to be satanic.
Not godly. That's right.
It has to be satanic.
Yep.
That it is. There seems to be an attempt to give a rise to multifaceted principalities, and it's not it's not good.
Well, here's the biblical foundation for this, and our listeners will remember this from their reading, but perhaps they didn't see it. But God revealed it to us years and years ago. And that if you look at the Garden of Eden, even in the garden there was a regional principality assigned, and that regional principality was the serpent. And the purpose of that serpent was to disconnect. Watch this. The serpent misquoted what God said.
Right.
So, biblically, if you will, use the belief system in the garden to disconnect the people from God, but also separate the people from one another. That regional principality and that separation, that quote-unquote violence, is very real. So now we see in several states in our country individuals who seem to have a mission to misuse the word to separate people from the Lord. Because if you look at the Amorites and the Hittites and the Hivites and all those ites that we make jokes about in the Old Testament, their main purpose was not to cause Israel to stop worshiping God. Their main purpose was to make them give God a distorted kind of worship. Move from true worship to untrue worship, to distorted worship. So we don't want you to leave God altogether. We just want you to twist how God is.
Oh my God.
And then the principality is designed to cause division between the people in the region that he or she is assigned to. And I believe, based upon the repetition, that you all experiencing this kind of spiritual division in Florida.
Yes.
We actually are experiencing it nationwide. And we actually had that divisive force, I believe, in the White House.
Oh, definitely.
But in the name of using the word of God in a distorted way.
What was interesting to me, how they used the very people, how the enemy used the very people who are supposed to be pro-God, pro-country, patriotic and all of that.
But here we go with the Bible again.
To bring all this stuff into play.
Here we go with the Bible again. The people told God, we want us a king. Not someone God sent, we want us a king. And God they voted with God, and God gave them Saul. And Saul was absolutely out of his mind.
Yes.
And led the people from his insanity.
Oh my God.
And the folk voted for him. Israel voted.
I know.
God and political power never works out in history.
Does not.
The combination of the two
doesn't.
It gets distorted. It just
doesn't.
We influence government.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying Christians can't be in government.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But it's difficult for them.
Yeah.
Because they enter an arena that is deal oriented.
Yep.
And the deal normally demands compromise.
Mm-hmm.
And the cycle is, I'll compromise with you on this if you'll vote for me on that.
Yeah.
So that is an unending cycle. It's almost like bribery.
It is. It is. That's a good. It is.
Yeah, it's almost like bribery.
Yeah.
It's an unending cycle. And once you get in that cycle, it's difficult to get out because you have some agendas in the future that you want to have.
Yeah. And plus the people that you work with got something on you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever cross them the wrong way, they'll find a way to handle you.
It's amazing how the regional principality principle in the Bible, as well as God's people demanding a king instead of someone that God prefers. Because what we saw in Saul was what God permitted. He was not what God preferred. But the people decided to vote for what he would permit. So it was a vote that got Saul, I can use the word vote, that got Saul in the office because God gave him a choice.
Yeah. He said, that's what y'all want.
He said, all right, you want this king? I'll give you one. But it won't be the king I wanted you to have. I want to be your king, he's saying.
Yeah.
You want a human king. I'll give him to you.
We're going to talk about this on Wednesday, too.
Okay.
But you're right. It's looking for politics to be our savior.
Absolutely.
A politician to
That's
be
right.
the one who, keeps us Christian. This country's never been a Christian country. I'm like, we all stop lying.
We talk about
Stop.
it. They that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So in the context of where we are right now, all the ites of the Old Testament simply wanted to move or distort Israel's worship for God. They didn't want them to stop worshiping God. We want to change the subtleties of it so it's no longer pure worship. So compromise was what the ites wanted to happen. You can still worship God, but we just need a little paganism here. Just put in a little human sacrifice. Why is it always human sacrifice?
That's a good question.
Why is it always something so that the compromise is always so heinous?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of them, because they feel like their God is so angry, the only way their God can be appeased is by, it's a distortion of God.
There you go.
Where God gave his son out of love.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that their God needs, like when Elijah on the Mount Carmel.
Yep.
You know, their God only responds to something heinous rather than
human pain.
Yeah, out of love.
Yeah.
You know.
So this whole thing is biblically based. The truth of it spiritually is in the Bible, and most of the Christians who are believing in it don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Bunny, I don't like that congestion I hear. I'm going to pray for you today, which I already did this morning, but going to pray for you. Going to pray for you today. Now that I hear what's going on, and may I give you a little pastorly advice?
Yes.
Keep yourself still today.
Okay.
It's just because your head clears up this afternoon around 2:00. Don't jump up and say, "Let me go shopping." All right?
Well, I won't. I'll probably go to the riverfront, get some fresh air.
No, you didn't hear what I said.
Okay, stay in the bed. Yeah.
All right, girl. Talk to you.
Oh, wait, Cole. I just wanted to say that I got those answers.
Yeah, I got the email.
Good. Okay.
All right, talk to you. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We got Danny in Florida, our other man on the street, and we got Teresa from Virginia. We're going to have a good conversation with them. Give us a call, 866-743-8267, 866-74 Evans. What you got, man?
You know what these gun laws been in
Yeah,
New Jersey
man.
now? So
Yeah.
Indiana does have the no license, no permit to carry.
Ridiculous.
New Jersey, of course, is still one of their strictest states on guns.
Needs to be.
So you can have a gun in your house. If
Okay.
you happen to travel with it, you have to have the gun and the bullet separate.
Okay.
And a locked box. So you can't just have a gun under your seat.
You can't put it under your seat, on the seat.
No. The only people that can carry a gun with the bullets in them, you have to have a special permit.
You have to have a permit for that.
Yeah, they have a justifiable reason to carry.
Okay. Like we do?
Well, we probably could.
Yes.
For fiduciary reasons.
Yes.
But you got to go through that process to get
for organizational culture and all like that.
Yes.
We probably could do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to get special permit for that. But everybody else,
license and permit.
Yeah. Everybody else, you can own a gun, but you can't.
I didn't know this was a state you could just have it in your house and it was okay.
Yes, you can have it in
so
your house.
So you can defend yourself on your grounds in your house.
In your house, yes.
Not outside the backyard.
No. In the house.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about that. Might be in your property.
No. Threshold.
But they have that castle doctrine.
So if you do something out in the backyard, you got to drag them in the house.
Except if there's, what does it say? A use of justifiable for protection when a person believes that such force is immediately necessary for the purpose of protecting himself.
So that's protecting your grounds then.
Yeah. So yes.
But you can't be walking outside. Tearing people up.
It's not like staying in your ground law.
No. Okay.
No.
So Jersey's, I think that's liberal enough.
Yeah, Jersey's very restrictive, which I think is.
I think you should be able to do what you need to do if somebody comes in your house.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But carrying it around in your car, walking around with it.
No. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
If you do that, you have to have it locked in the trunk and the bullets in the glove compartment completely separate.
Yeah, you can't even put it in the glove compartment.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Put it that way. Yeah.
But separate.
Separate, yes.
So you got to say, just hold a minute. Don't jack me yet.
Right.
Just joking.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Danny. Hey, Danny. Danny, how you doing, man?
Bishop, how you doing? Good morning.
Man.
Sam, how's everyone?
Tom already told us what it's like from his area. Tell us what it's like from yours. We're anxious to hear your report today.
It's crazy as ever, and I don't know if Tom told you how crazy it is. Well, something that we have that you can look at will be catching on. The governor now has instated the election police.
We heard that.
Yeah. To stop voter fraud.
Stop voter fraud? Is that what it supposedly is about? Ostensibly, it's to stop voter fraud?
Yes.
Well, that's what it said, but this is how the process is going. He will hand select those that will be part of that particular staff from the Florida police or state police, and they will go and report directly to him.
And you all are going to go for that?
It's already done. It's been signed, sealed, and delivered.
The Congress of Florida set this. They did it already.
Huh?
Yeah, the people have no choice in this. The Congress and government,
What are the people saying about this, Danny?
There's nothing that can be said, and there's nothing that will be said, because all these crazy things that have been going, he's been signing bill after bill after bill.
All right, now let me ask you a very obvious question, and I'm being facetious and not facetious at the same time. Why do you still have my sister living there?
I'm ready to go ahead. The weather is not worth it, and all the air and what have you is not worth it. It's just getting into craziness wherein that people want to hear these different things, and it's all to go ahead and to get whatever they want. And like you said before, as long as they can keep a certain group down, they will be happy no matter what goes on.
But some of the things, well, Pastor Nick taught me this a while ago, some of the things are going to negatively impact the very people who are celebrating them right now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And this is just coming from the projects. You do not need more guns where guns are already prevalent, and that is in low-income places and some medium-income places. You don't need more guns in those areas.
Yep.
And certain groups you don't bother with, and I'll give you just a little history on something. Originally, when Disney wanted to come to Florida, they wanted to come to South Florida, namely Dade or Miami-Dade County. What happened was that Miami-Dade, they came up with this idea that we're going to go ahead and change the amount of money that they were asking for a certain property.
Okay.
So they raised that particular amount of money. Disney turned around and said, well, if you don't bring it back to what we originally agreed upon, we'll just go somewhere else.
Okay.
So they changed, and they said, well, we'll call your bluff. So Disney said, well, what we'll do, we'll go to Orlando. Their answer to that, well, Orlando is nothing but orange groves, and nobody's going to go there.
Wow.
They don't even have a decent airport.
Wow.
Look at Disney today.
Yep.
Okay.
Look at Orlando today.
Look at Orlando today.
Well,
sprawling.
Nobody knew anything about Orlando. It was all South Florida, Miami Beach.
Amazing.
And you look at the situation.
I think that can happen on when certain institutions move to certain locations. You can basically put that location on the map.
Exactly.
And then the people in the location find themselves not just locked in a battle for their mission, but they find themselves locked in the politics, the political battles of the area that they transformed.
And now let me show you something where people are needing help from the government right now.
Okay.
Anyone that has rental property, they have doubled their rents, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. So if someone was asking $1,000 per month, their rent has gone up to $2,000.
Now, who was the cause of the increase?
Well, the way that the legislature has everything in place, the Florida law says that they can ask whatever they want. And
so there's no limits on it?
They're not trying to do anything to go ahead to stop this craziness.
Is that to price certain groups of people out of those areas?
There you go. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
You hit the nail on the head.
Okay. Because I know, like over in Philadelphia, South Street, there was a population for years. They gentrified South Street, and now you've got condominiums on South Street that are at least $1 million, $2 million. You've got 3-story houses that are small by any manner of description, who are going for $6 and $7 million. And they gentrified it. They did the same thing in downtown Chicago. They're doing the same thing in downtown Philadelphia. They've begun to do it in downtown Camden, to where people that have lived there for years can't afford to live there anymore. So where do they go? Who knows?
Yep. Broad Street or Temple?
Broad Street and Temple, yep, same thing. Yeah. area around University of Pennsylvania.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
Yep.
You got
Now, remember-
$250,000 houses, row houses in that area now.
I know. Insanity.
Yes, sir.
Bishop, remember before this whole thing started, I told you, watch this guy. He's going to try to run for president.
Well, you did.
Okay?
You did.
Everybody was laughing.
You did.
Everybody was joking.
Yeah.
Okay? Said, no, it won't happen.
Okay.
All right? Now, the next thing to watch, remember the Surfside building collapse last year?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Man. Quiet as a mouse.
That's true. Yeah, you don't hear nothing about it.
Nothing has happened. Okay, have been several buildings that have been condemned in the inner coast of Miami, where the residents have been living in those condominiums for years. One day they went to work, the next day they came back. They said, you got to move out.
That was the reaction, but nothing was done about the people that actually were negligent in building that building.
Construction and building,
Yeah.
the codes,
The permit people.
surveying the land,
Yeah, all that.
making sure that there's no water up under the land.
All those people got away pretty free, didn't they?
That's it.
That's
And all
what.
the construction is still going on.
Wow. Danny, we got to go, man. We got 3 minutes left.
All right, Bishop.
Tell my sister I said hello.
Will do. Be blessed.
And let me know when you all are moving. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.
Goodbye.
Teresa.
Bishop Evans and Pastor Nick, I haven't been able to listen to you all in the last couple of weeks because I had the David Evans, I had the icon, and for some reason it was just kept spinning. But I'm glad that now I know I can listen to you all on YouTube.
Absolutely.
I'm not a YouTube subscriber, but that's how I'm listening. But Pastor Nick, I just wanted to make a comment real quick. You said it's never been a Christian nation. Here's my prescription for this nation. I agree 100%. I would say we need to call, this is what I call this nation, a nation of faith. Faiths. That includes, we're Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized Christians. That includes Christians, Judaism, Islam, atheism, Hinduism, Buddhism. You include everybody. Wicked. You include everybody. Now they go in the hell in a handbasket, but you include everyone in there. And I still believe that we can have on the currency, and God we trust with still the big G, because that's their God. But to say it's a Christian nation, never.
I think we may have said it historically, but I'm not sure we practiced it.
No.
You know, so and the title should attract, the function should attract the title. The title does not create the function.
Right.
And we have had a title, and our function has been sketchy at best.
Yeah. Most of the founding fathers were deists. They weren't Christians.
Right.
Believing in a God is not the same as believing in.
Absolutely.
Just because they put in God we trust.
The
don't
God
mean,
of the Bible.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, they got a guy in Florida that's trying to ban the Bible in everywhere in Florida.
I saw. They ain't gonna let that go down there.
But he said he just did it in retaliation to
what
some of what DeSantis is doing.
Yeah, now he's an atheist.
Yes.
So that's what I said. That's why I say a nation of faith, because then you have everybody included.
But he thinks that by doing this, he said his words were, you know, there'll be overwhelming support for this. And yes, there are more unbelievers than believers.
And there are a lot of atheists growing out there too.
Yeah, and there's a lot of atheists. But the reality is that, you know, God says we're going to be in the minority. But that should not impact the strength of what we do and what we're able to accomplish. And Israel is the living example of that. Yeah. Surrounded by the enemy, yet thriving.
Yep.
How does a country in the middle of the desert export water to all countries around it? Fruit, all countries around it. In the middle of the desert. Nothing but the word of the Lord being spoken into that destiny, and we're seeing the word work over and over again. Yep. Teresa, thank you for calling. What part of Virginia are you from?
I'm in Reston, right outside of Washington, D.C.
No, you're the urban suburban Virginian. Okay, I got you.
Absolutely. All right.
Talk to you soon now.
Care.
All right,
okay.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're coming to the end of the program. We have our virtual service tomorrow at 8 a.m. 11 a.m. is our outdoor service, and 6 p.m. is our communion celebration. That's virtual also. Now, tomorrow is Women's Day, is that right?
Yes.
Tomorrow's Women's Day, and we're excited about our guest tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We're also excited about our 11 a.m. service as we celebrate the women all day long. We want you to join us at 8 a.m. on virtually, 11 a.m. live outdoors here on our campus, 1115 Gibbsboro Rd, 6 p.m. virtual communion. You can pick up your communion, bread and wine, your elements, as Pastor Nick calls them, today and tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Email your prayer request to us at social@gotobethany.com. As always, we invite you to subscribe to our podcast platforms, David G. Evans 1, BBC of NJ, DGEMS, DGEMS, and On Point. We're so glad you joined us today. For Pastor Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. And remember, worship with us all day tomorrow. And remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you, and see you next time on Point.